this time he got deep and he got the crush going on. Does that make sense? I've got to get my elbow in first, if you ask me, and then I'll work out what I'm going to do with this hand shortly after that. Does that make sense to you? But really, what's giving me most grief is this shoulder and my face. Does that make sense? And the pressure. Of course, there's a risk of mounting and all that sort of stuff going on as well. But really, all we're thinking about is positioning this elbow so I can have some space and then I can put my hand where I want to put it. Does that make sense to you? Good. So we do tons of hip escapes. There's one hip escape, and I've got my elbow back inside. Just one little movement. He's squeezing and he's really tight. He's squeezing. I'm walking to it, get my elbow in. I'm using my humerus bone to keep him away. Notice my wrist is not in his hip. If I put my wrist in his hip, he'll be able to crush me back down. Right here, he can't get any closer. He has to switch his base. If he switches his base, that's really good for me. Make sense? That's not what we're doing, but that's a possibility. Make sense? So once again, I'm in super deep. I'm going to bop, get my elbow in. Watch here, I'm going to use my wrist. Put it inside and get it in front of his neck. From there, I'm going to start to push him away. Down and away. Right? Uncomfortable for him. Doesn't bother me much at all. Good? That'll make it easy for me to get this hand inside here to make a frame so that I can force the shoulder away. Does that make sense? Now he can't crush my face as well. Cool? I've got a couple of options here. One is I could push into that, kick up, and get to my elbow to try to move away from him. Or from here, force his arm around to the other side, get to my elbow, and move away. And that's the two options I want you to try to take. I'm deep, he's controlling. I bop to get my elbow in, I swivel my wrist in, and I force him down and away. Please don't push him up. If you push him up, you're going to get head and arms. Push him down and away. From there, I slide my hand in underneath the arm that's going to cross face me and make a frame. From that frame, I've got a couple of options. One, I can double C onto his arm, kick my legs up and get to my elbow. Or from the frame, I can drive his arm above my head, push it with my top arm, get to my elbow. Does that make sense to you? Just escape away. Got it? Go.